welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing an affordable makeup tutorial, so don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let's do this! Oh hey Bareface! Okay, so throughout this video you will see my lips moving. I was recording this on my Facebook Live. If you don't follow me on there already, you should. I do live videos all the freaking time. If you like to stick around for 2-hour long videos, that's where you want to be. But first thing up is going to be my Nivea Post Shave Balm. I use this as a primer all over my face. This product works so well on my sensitive skin. It's very calming and very hydrating and it smells amazing. But I will just focus on working this into my skin because this is going to act as my barrier, so I want it to be tacky so my foundation will almost stick to it. Alright, so next product up is going to be the NYX Pore Filler Primer. I will focus this under my eyes, on my nose, and my forehead. All of my large pore areas I will fill in with this. This just helps really smooth out those areas and create a flawless canvas. So again, this is the NYX Pore Filler Primer. Now once we are all primed and good to go, I will go in with my favorite foundation from the drugstore, and this is the L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible Foundation. If you're looking for a super full coverage, last all day long, super affordable foundation, this one, you will freaking love it. This is one of my favorite foundations in my entire collection. This foundation is just my go-to, especially since I do have very textured skin and problematic skin. It covers absolutely everything up. My skin always looks flawless, so yeah, if you're looking for an excellent drugstore foundation, definitely check this one out. I mean, I think every single foundation in the Infallible line is amazing. They have the Pro Glow, the Total Cover, and the Pro Matte, and then I think a few other ones. The Pro Matte is definitely my favorite. It lasts all freaking day long. Like if I'm going to an event, this is the foundation I incorporate into my routine because it just makes my face look flawless all day long. It lasts so long. It doesn't break up on me. This foundation is just simply amazing. Like if you're looking for a bomb-ass foundation, just go check these out. And then I probably should add that I am using a damp beauty blender to blend out my foundation. I highly recommend the L'Oreal Infallible Blend Artist Sponge if you're looking for an affordable drugstore dupe. I am so diehard for that sponge right now. I would have been using that today, but it was dirty, of course. But I did do a review on it on my channel. I will leave that link down below. But I just personally prefer to blend out my liquid concealer, foundation, everything with a damp beauty sponge. So this is the one we're using today, and then we'll move on to my concealer. Okay, so for concealer today, we're using my all-time favorite. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Corrector, I think it's called. But this is just amazing for my under eyes. I love that it has a very yellow tone. This is in the shade Neutralizer. I just freaking love the formula of this. It blends out super easy, super quick. It is just amazing, amazing. I love this concealer. So we're just going to take this under our eyes, in our T-zone. We're going to do our forehead, down the center of the nose, right above the cupid's bow, and our chin, just to highlight those areas. You definitely don't have to highlight all these areas if you choose not to. A lot of people just do concealer under their eyes, or they conceal their blemishes or anything like that, so you definitely don't have to do everything that I am. It's all personal preference, people. It's all personal preference. Okay, after we're all blended out, we want to set that shit. I have to set my entire face because I turned into a grease ball. So I personally prefer a loose powder over a pressed powder, but you could use whichever you choose. This one here is going to be the RCMA No Color Powder. I love this powder for underneath my eyes. You get so much freaking product for such an affordable price, but I only like this really for my under eyes because it is pretty brightening. And then I will also put it in the areas like my forehead, down the center of my nose, cupid's bow, and my chin, all the areas that I did my concealer. But as far as for the rest of the face, I will go in with a second powder, so we'll come to that in a few minutes, but I'm just going to set this out with my beauty blender, and then we'll move on to the second powder that I will use today. Alright, so a lot of you guys are probably wondering, like, do we really need 2 setting powders, Brittany? And the answer is no. This is totally excessive. This is just my personal preference. Like the RCMA No Color Powder, I just personally prefer underneath my eyes and the highlighted areas. But this powder is the Coty Airspun. This powder is so good for all over the face because it just makes your skin look so flawless. It sets your skin so nicely. And it has a little bit of extra coverage, so if you are looking for a little bit more coverage, which I am because I do have like acne scars and stuff like that, So I really like this for all over the rest of my face. And I am still using the same exact sponge, so I'm setting this again with my damp beauty blender. And they do have actual shades in the air spun, but I personally prefer the translucent extra coverage. So that's what I'm using today. Okay, so super annoying. I'm just going through my footage and I'm realizing that it wasn't recording for the entire time I was contouring, bronzing, or highlighting. But on the plus side, I did have a one brand tutorial using all Wet n Wild products, and that is the same exact products that I use today. For my contour and bronzer, I use the Wet n Wild contour palettes, but for my contour, I use the shade Dolce de Leche, and for my bronzer, I use the shade Caramel Toffee. And to highlight my under eyes and all the areas that I concealed, I also did the banana shade from Caramel Toffee. And then for my highlighter, I used Precious Petals highlighting powder from Wet n Wild as well. So if you guys do want to see those in action, I will leave a card right above here for the one brand tutorial for that. I cannot freaking believe that I missed all of that, but I use those so frequently, so you'll definitely, if you don't want to go back and watch my old video, I will use them in the future. You definitely don't have to worry about that. But moving on, we're going to move on to brows. Today I use the ColourPop brow pencils. I think these are great brow pencils. They are so freaking pigmented, but if you are not experienced with brows, I definitely would not recommend them just because they are so incredibly pigmented. Okay, I won't show too much more of brows just because I recently did an eyebrow tutorial here on my channel, so if you're curious to see how I fill in my brows, definitely check that out. I just wanted you guys to kind of see how pigmented these pencils really are. So we'll finish it off here and then we'll move on to eyeshadow. Alright, so the first one up is going to be from the BH Cosmetics and Carly Bible palette. This is going to be the lightest shade in the palette. I'm going to use this to set my entire lid space. That way all my shadows blend on top of it super easy and seamless. I'm going to do that obviously on both of my eyes, and then we'll move on to our transition shade. Okay, so for one of our transition shades, seems how this one didn't really work out the way that I wanted it to. This one is from the same palette. It's the BH Cosmetics and the Carly Bible palette. This is the like neutral brown tone shade that's in the palette. It's right in the top row in the center, but I don't know what it is about this palette. I feel like I have to use so much product and it doesn't really show up on me. I don't know what it is, so this palette for me is kind of a dud. That's why I didn't bother using it, because I planned on using the entire palette for this entire look, but it's just like, I feel like these shades take so much work, so I don't know if I got a dud palette or what, but I ended up switching up to my Makeup Geek shadow, so I'll definitely flip forward to that instead because you really can't see exactly what this is doing on my lids. Yeah, you're about to see exactly what I'm talking about. This is the shade Creme Brulee by Makeup Geek. These shadows are absolutely amazing, and this one actually appears lighter in the pan than the BH Cosmetics ones, and this one just shows up so much better on my skin. I don't have to use nearly as much product, I don't have to put nearly as much work into it, and I just blend it out with my Sigma E25 brush, and it just comes out exactly the way that I want it to. And because I have hooded eyelids, I go higher than my actual crease just because when I open my eyes up, I want to be able to see my eyeshadow. So if you're somebody that has hooded eyelids like I am, that's just one thing that I have learned, that I would constantly go back and forth between looking down and looking straight when I'm applying my eyeshadow, because I do have to start higher and I just want to make sure that it looks right and balances. So if you have hooded eyelids, definitely try that out. I feel like that's really helped me when it comes to applying my eyeshadow. Alright, so the next shade I'm going to be taking is the Makeup Geek shade Morocco, and I'm going to take it on the exact same brush, the Sigma E25, and I'm just going to focus this a little bit lower than my crease shade, just building a little bit more dimension, adding a little bit more oranginess, and a little bit more color to my look. So I'm just going to do that using windshield wiper motions, and then I'll eventually start blending it out in circular motions just to blend everything together. Alright, so the next one up is going to be Makeup Geek Cocoa Bear. I'm going to take this on, again, the exact same brush. I'm going to focus this mostly on the outer V of my eye. I'm still using like dabbing motions, and then I'm just kind of sweeping it back and forth to kind of blend it out a little bit. But I still want to focus it a little bit lower than the crease shades that I just put on. And again, I'm just going to keep dabbing it into the outer corner just to keep intensifying the color. I'm going to dab it in my crease just to kind of make it so it's pretty precise, because I am using a pretty fluffy brush, so I don't want to interfere with those colors that I already laid down. So we're just going to kind of blend them all together. Alright, moving on to the next shade, it's going to be Makeup Geek Mocha. I'm going to focus this again on the outer V, but I'm going to focus it even lower, more towards the lash line. I'm just going to use the same exact brush, blending all the shades together, just using dabbing motions yet again. I'm basically doing the exact same step that I just did with the shade Cocoa Bear, just a little bit lower, a little bit darker color. So that's the way that I typically like to work with my eyeshadows, is I'll start with the lightest shade and work towards the darker shade. That way I really build dimension in my eye. And I always focus the darker colors on the outer V of my eye. I just think it's the most flattering on me. So you'll probably see this look a lot, but I constantly switch up the colors. So if you ever wonder why I always do this look, it's just my favorite type of look on my eye. I just think it's the most flattering. You are also going to see me switch up my brushes right now. I'm going to switch it over to the Morphe E23 brush to really help blend all those shadows together. That way we have no harsh lines. Alright, my next step up, I'm going to take Makeup Geek Foiled Shadow in the shade Grandstand and just apply that all over the inner part of my lids. I love these foiled shadows, but I always feel like they apply better with my finger. They do make a foiled shadow brush, but I haven't picked that up yet, but I feel like it just applies the best this way. It's easiest to control. If you want it to show up a little bit more intense, you could always use MAC Fix Plus, but you're going to want to use a brush like a MAC 242 brush or any flat style brush will definitely do the trick. But today we're just going to use our fingertip, so I'm just going to apply that all over the inner part of my lids. Yep, totally just lied to you guys because I forgot I did this part. The Grandstand shade wasn't as intense as I wanted it to be, or it wasn't as bright as I wanted it to be. So to really brighten this up, I took a different shade. I took In the Spotlight. It's another foiled shadow by Makeup Geek, and I took some MAC Fix Plus on a 242 brush by MAC, and I'm just going to apply that right over those same areas on the inner part of my lid. Okay, so now we're all set with our lid space. Now we're going to move on to our waterline. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon eyeliner pencil. This isn't my favorite one. I'm still on the hunt for a good brown eye pencil. So if you guys know of any good ones, let a bitch know. Okay, so I guess it skipped over me applying shadows to my bottom lashes. I am so sorry, you guys. I did not realize that my camera was not recording, but I just applied the exact same shadows as the same way I did on my upper lid. So I did Mocha towards the outer corner, Cocoa Bear more towards the middle. I did Morocco kind of mixed in between those, all using a Morphe E15 brush. That's just a flat definer brush. And then I took a Morphe E36 with the shade Creme Brulee, and I just blended it all together on the lower lash line. Alright, now that my lashes are curled, we're going to move on to mascara, and this is my favorite mascara from the drugstore. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I feel like this is such a good dupe for the Benefit Roller Lash, and I love me some Benefit Roller Lash, but this is a super affordable, really, really good drugstore mascara. So if you're looking for an alternative for that, definitely check this one out. It definitely separates my lashes and makes them look like wispy false lashes. I mean, look at those right there. Come on. They look so freaking good. So I love this mascara. It's definitely my favorite from the drugstore. Hold the phone. We're going to talk about how obsessed with this brush I am right now. This is the Crown Brushes SS023 brush. I use this for my bronzer today. Holy shit, this brush is amazing. You guys are going to see so much of this brush. Shit ain't even funny. So good. Okay, anyways, moving on to lower lashes. I'm going to use a different mascara for this. I love this for my bottom lashes. This is the Rimmel Lash Accelerator. This is like the best lower lash mascara from the drugstore. I love L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black as well, but this one I reach for so much, so Rimmel Lash Accelerator is thebomb.com for your lower lashes. Back to eyeshadow real quick. I don't know why I do this. Every time I finish my lashes is when I go back to this. This is Makeup Geek Shimma Shimma. That's what I'm applying to the inner corner of my eye. But I'm going to go in and spray some Fix Plus on the brush as well, just to intensify it a little bit more and give it a good pop on my inner corner. After I'm done with the inner corner, I'm going to go back in for one more final blend. Again, I'm using the Sigma E25 brush just to make sure there's no harsh lines. That way everything's all blended together. It makes it look seamless. Like, the trick to good eyeshadow is blend, 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 girl. Alright, next up is going to be falsies. I'm using the Kiss Lashes glue. I think that's what it's called, but I'm going to go in with the Salon Perfect 615 lashes. I love these lashes. I love really wispy lashes, and they just remind me of like a deer lash or like a Bambi lash. So I really like these. They just give me a little bit of extra length. little bit more fullness, but nothing too crazy. Like, I don't really like intense lashes on me. I like more of like demi-wispy style, so I'm just gonna have a struggling time applying these, and yeah, enjoy the entertainment here. Okay, power of editing. I'm not going to bore you too much with the second lash, but if you guys struggle with false lashes, try using a lash applicator. It makes it way easier. Like, I never used to be able to apply false lashes, and this has really made a huge difference for me, so definitely try that out. That's just a little tip from me to you. Next up, I'm going to spray the shit out of my face with this Milani Make It Last setting spray. This stuff smelled so good. I really liked it for the first time using it, so I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. Next, I'm going to go in with a lip balm. This is just a Blistex chapstick. It's just something to prep my lips for a matte liquid lipstick. And then for my matte liquid lipstick, I'm going to go in with ColourPop Beeper. I freaking love this color. And then I'm just going to go in with the NYX Butter Gloss in Praline and just top it off right in the center just to give my lips a little bit more plump. Okay, so this next step definitely wasn't planned, but I wasn't liking how my eyes were looking completely with the lashes on, so I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Mega Liner. I definitely recommend doing this before you put lashes on because you legit can't see shit. So this was a last minute decision, so we're going to work with it. Alright, you guys, that's going to be it for this makeup tutorial using all affordable products. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, don't forget to give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on my social networks, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Peace out, motherfuckers. Bye, you guys.